One of the stories that I like to tell is about a Vietnamese man who had lived in Gwinnett County and in our country for nearly 40 years. And my sister and I knocked his door. And, I speak Vietnamese well enough to have a conversation, not well enough to explain any kind of legitimate policy differences. When you meet a voter where they are, when you are able to communicate with them in a way that they haven't been communicated with before, simply by showing up at their door and also by, understanding that there is a language and cultural barrier. He was very open to talking to us, but what struck me was he didn't know the difference between the two presidential candidates in 2016, which were Hillary and Trump. And he obviously didn't know anything about his state level representative. So we said, why don't we just get a translator for you? And the translator can explain to you the differences between the candidates in a way that I was not able to do. And he said yes. And he also said, I've always wanted to vote, but I was just scared. I'm scared because of the language. I'm scared because I don't know enough about the candidates, and nobody has ever asked me to vote. So we had a translator call him, and the translator shared with him information about the candidates on the ballot. And the man said, you know what? I want to vote. I want to cast my vote for Hillary, and I want to cast my vote for Sam Park. The translator also happens to be partially blind. And so my sister ended up picking up the translator, driving him to this voter's house. And then she stayed and babysat the voter's two children while the men went to the poll, and this voter cast his vote for the first time in the 40 years he's lived in this country. And it was an 80-mile round trip, and it took two separate trips. The first door knock, and then a follow-up with saying, we're going to help you be able to cast your vote. And Representative Park won that election by less than 500 votes. And that is an example